Maruti Suzuki, we were talking about it just before we started this program. Some of you will remember the old advertisement, right, about petrol cars. Papa ki kara petrol khatam hi nahi hunda. And essentially, this is a company that's now talking about becoming the largest electric vehicle manufacturer in the country. How does that pan out? This is one of the questions that I asked Rahul Bharti, who is Executive Director, Corporate Affairs at Maruti Suzuki. But I started by asking about the margin picture. There was a bit of a deceleration. Here's what he had to say.
Our net profit increased by about 12.6%, almost in line with the volumes. And in terms of margin, our EBIT to net sales ratio was 10%. It was almost in line with street expectations. And sequentially, it was down by 30 basis points, but year on year, it improved by about 10 basis points. As you rightly said, sales promotion did impact by about 20 basis points. There were higher advertisement expenses by about 40 basis points. Forex was adverse by about 20 basis points. We had some higher depreciation because of Karkhoda, some facilities, 20 basis points. So a total negative impact of 100 basis points of adverse factors, and there were positive factors of about 70 basis points, owing to about 40 basis points commodity and 30 basis points some operating leverage. So that was a net result. Broadly, we were able to maintain our EBIT margin.
Okay. Mr. Bharti, now one aspect of that and what has negatively impacted the margins to a certain extent, you measured that, was the discounts. And that really is a prevailing trend in the market. But one of your products, what you've relaunched, you're talking about the Desire, and a lot of people talking about the star rating on the NCAP ratings and the fact that you've got very strong bookings for that. That should be a big shot in the arm, shouldn't it?
Yes, it is. And as you rightly said, the Desire is one sedan which does more volumes than all sedans put in the market across the entire industry put together. So that's a huge advantage for us. And the relaunched Desire is even better with all those technology and features, etc. And we've got very positive response to the Desire in the month of December. We've closed with about 20,000 pending orders. There was some production constraint also in December, but we'll remove that in going forward in January onwards.
Looking at, so obviously the battery at this juncture will be brought in from outside?
At SOP, yes, the battery will be imported. Yes,
so, but the rest will have very, very high localization, right?
Generally, EVs would have a higher import content than IC engine cars for obvious reasons. IC engines have been around for more than 40, 50 years. EVs have just started, but we are increasing our local content, components like the motor and other parts, the axle, etc. We will be making efforts to localize.
Just the last question from my side. If and I'm sure that this will come to pass. We're talking about the largest car manufacturer making a statement that it will manufacture a certain number of electric vehicles. But how will this change the mix in terms of the margin picture? Will that materially shift?
We have to acknowledge that EVs will have lower margins than IC engines for obvious reasons. If the margins were equal, why would the government have to give so many, financial incentives or subsidies, whether it is central government or state government, whether it is demand side or supply side? So obviously there is a viability pressure, which is why the government is also intervening. But that is something that we have to take in our stride, and we have to balance the interest of all stakeholders, our investors and society, our environment goals. That is the task at hand. And one thing that helps towards this is presence in multiple technologies. So we will be using all technologies to reduce carbon, of course, starting with electric to like hybrid or natural gas or biofuels.